Hey guys, Brian delivers you the goods here. I'm returning to you tonight for a premiere video, which this is the final album review I'm reviewing for this past Friday's releases for October 6th. So this is going to be for Drake's new album, For All the Dogs, that I got a chance to listen to. So I believe this is his ninth studio album or something like that. I can't honestly remember because he's made quite a bit of albums and collab albums with other rappers, so I'm going to discuss what I listened to for Drake's new album, For All the Dogs, and let you know my thoughts on this album overall. So let's dive into this album review. Now it starts with Virginia Beach and off to a pretty bad start. I'm just not feeling for Drake's mumble-ish raps, and he sometimes slurs when he raps. It's like, this is stupid, honestly. I mean, Drake, I like his clean vocals for certain songs on this album, but majority of the tracks, like a certain percentage of the tracks, are pretty bad and ruin the album's reception. So 2 out of 5 for Virginia Beach, off to a very bad start, and I just couldn't like this track for how it sounded. So basically, yeah, 2 out of 5. It's just Drake's rapping was cringe and garbage. Amen is the next song, the second track, featuring Tizo, Touchdown, and that's okay. It's not anything mind-blowing. I am sorry about the background noise. My nephew is really screaming his lungs out right now, and I'm very sorry that you had to hear that screech scream. He's gonna do that quite a bit, so yeah. 3 out of 5 for Tizo, Touchdown. Amen featuring Tizo, Touchdown. I'm really sorry you got to hear that in the background. He's getting a bath right now. Calling for You featuring 21 Savage is one of the worst tracks I've listened to. I cannot stand how this song sounds overall. It's just 21 Savage. It keeps repeating one verse he does, and then he says 21. And it's like, dude, you're fucking boring now. And you're just irritatingly annoying, too, with your raps. So I can't fucking stand 21 Savage. It's just like, every time he raps, I cringe so much. It's like, this guy is untalented, in my opinion. So, and Drake is mumbling, too, in this track. With his mumble, fast-paced raps that I cannot fucking stand. So 1.5 out of 5. Then comes Fear of Heights, another one of the bad songs for this album, and pretty much the beginning of this album is pretty bad so far. So 1 out of 5 for this track. It's just Drake's rapping is awful. It doesn't sound good. He does do some fast-paced rapping, but the reason why I call him the grandpa rapper is because he tends to slow it down with his fast-paced rapping from time to time, and he seems like the type that's like a grandpa rapper, in my opinion. But that's how I view it, and the nickname I gave for him, the cringy nickname. So, pretty much 1 out of 5. Daylight is one of the worst fucking tracks. He does some weird, I don't know, some weird noises with his raps that is so fucking stupid, and it makes the album's reception even worse of a listen. So I'd give this a 0 out of 5. Fuck Daylight. This track is horrible. First Person Shooter featuring J. Cole. I was baffled by how bad this was. I was listening to it and I was like, well, I've just heard the worst songs so far this year. And this is one of them. J. Cole doesn't sound good rapping, in my opinion. I was trying to like some moments with his rapping, but I couldn't. It just was cringe. And Drake's rapping was just slow and dumb, and it just didn't do much for me, so 0 out of 5. This track fucking sucks, in my opinion. I Don't Give a Fuck is so immature of a track, featuring Yeet, and this track does not do it for me. I cannot stand this song for how it sounds, so 0 out of 5. 7969 Santa, the beat is a little better than the last 3 songs, but the song is bad. It's going to get a 1.5 out of 5 in my opinion. This track doesn't really offer a lot to entertain me for how it sounds, and Drake's pretty much sounding cringy with his raps, so 1.5 out of 5. Slime You Out. Basically, this was a song about Halle Berry. I don't fucking know why, but Drake, you need to stop beefing with an actress. It's like, dude, you're acting like a fucking child. And give me 1 second, I gotta pause the video for a moment. But yeah, sorry about that. I just, had to let my sister's cat out for a moment. But yeah, to continue where I left off, he is acting like a child, and SZA is in this track. I didn't hate how she sung it, and Drake sung it alright, but the track and what it's pertaining about, it's whatever. I'm just like, I don't fucking understand this stupid ass beef. It's like, Drake, get the fuck over yourself and stop being a fucking douchebag and a man-child. So, basically 3.5 out of 5. Bahamas Promises is decent. Nothing I'm really crazy for, but it's whatever. So, 4 out of 5. I mean, the melody doesn't sound bad, and Drake's clean vocals sound a lot better. Tried Our Best is probably a strong track for this album. One of the highlights for the album, unfortunately, because the rest of the album has its cringy moments. The beginning of the album is its messy point. So I'd give this a 4.5 out of 5. Screw the World is decent. The interlude is decent for what it goes for. It's just the way Drake sings it from time to time has its cringy moments, and the production is iffy. And I am so sorry about the background noise. My nephew does that screaming stuff when he takes a bath. So 4 out of 5. Drew a Picasso is a bad song. Drake does not sound good rapping in this track, and his mumble, slurish raps don't fucking work, in my opinion. He's like, or whatever the fuck he's rapping. It's like, dude, slow it down a bit so we can understand what you're fucking singing. I mean, honestly, it's just, I mean, I could understand what it sounded like, but still, it's fucking stupid. This track, the mumble rap shit is the worst fucking thing for this album, and it does not work. 1.5 out of 5. Members Only featuring Party Next Door is a decent track. I didn't hate Drake's clean vocals, and Party Next Door sounded alright with their singing, so 4 out of 5. What Would Pluto Do? I'm trying to speed this up so I can get a solid review out to you guys so it doesn't go over the amount of memory on my thing or whatever to put it on my phone to upload the video to you guys. So pretty much What Would Pluto Do was average. I didn't hate how it sounded. It just was so 3.5 out of 5. All the Parties featuring Chief Keef. This song didn't really do it for me. It was kind of stupid, and I couldn't feel for this track, so 1.5 out of 5. Melody sounded alright, but the way Drake and Chief Keef were singing it and all that, it just didn't work. 8 a.m. in Charlotte actually was not a bad song. Another strong track for the album. I think there's only 3 strong tracks for this album, and that is sad, because the rest of the album kind of flops, so 4.5 out of 5. Drake's rapping is pretty clear and alright for what it sounds like. BBL Love interlude is disappointing. It's a bad track. I couldn't stand it with how the interlude sounds. He mentions about a wet pussy and other things. It's like, oh my god, please stop with your filthy lyricism. It's like, you're making it cringy already. 2 out of 5. Gently featuring Bad Bunny, mixed poorly. Drake's Spanish rapping is awful. Bad Bunny sounds awful, in my opinion. And this track doesn't fucking work, in my opinion, so 1.5 out of 5. Rich Baby Daddy featuring Sexy Red and SZA is a disappointing track. Couldn't stand how this song sounds, and just the beat is too fast tempo, and it does not work with how it sounds overall. So, unfortunately, SZA was in this track, and she didn't sound bad, but it's just the way the song is mixed with Drake and Sexy Red acting like fucking idiots in the song and singing like fucking idiots and rapping. So this track did not fucking work. 2.5 out of 5. Another Late Night featuring Lil Yachty is okay. I don't hate it, but it's just in the middle with me. 3 out of 5. Away From Home is an average track. It didn't sound bad, but Drake's rapping kind of is underwhelming from time to time. Um, in certain sections with his verses, so 3.5 out of 5. And then comes the final track, Polar Opposites, which is the closing track to this album for this 85-minute album, technically. And it's not bad. It closes the album not too bad, so I didn't hate how it sounded, so 4.5 out of 5. Not a bad closing track. Overall, production, mixing, and execution-wise, I think Drake for All the Dogs was pretty bad of an album. I was hoping to give praise for this album because of certain songs actually impressing me, but the majority of this album, like maybe 50 or 60% of the album, is pretty bad. There's this other 40 or 30 percentage, maybe 60 or 70% of the album's bad, but everything else is like alright. So, for a score for me, I'm giving For All the Dogs by Drake a 3 out of 10. Fuck this album. I was hoping to like certain tracks, and the reason why it bumped up to at least a 3 is because it was going to get a 4.5 out of 10, but I don't think it's worthy enough to stay at that rating because it's not that good enough to keep it at that rating. And there's like quite a bit of songs on this album. The 0 out of 5s really ruined the reception. So this and Lana Del Rey's new albums are probably the worst albums this year. So I don't know what's going to be the worst album of the year, but this one so far is almost worst album of the year. Lana Del Rey makes the worst album of the year right now. But basically, 3 out of 10 for Drake for All the Dogs. I really did not like this album with how it sounded, and certain tracks really ruined the album. The 0 out of 5 songs really ruined the reception, and overall, it's not a good album, so I wouldn't recommend it. With that being said, that's just my opinion at the end of the day. You can take it however way you want. If you didn't like the review, you can just comment, and I'm probably not going to respond because I don't really give a fuck. This is just what I think and how I feel about the album. So thanks for watching this album review tonight. Have a good night.